You've stepped out of an old version of yourself that was never the full truth of who you were. That identity was only a fragment, a partial image that you once believed you had to wear just to survive, just to be accepted. But that illusion has fallen away, and now the real you stands unveiled. The shift is so striking, so complete, that people can't help but look. They stare not out of judgment, but out of awe. Because the energy around you has changed. For the first time, the outside world finally sees what heaven has always known. The truth finally fits you. God is showing me something profound. You finished a spiritual assignment that was heavy and recurring, almost like a karmic exam. You kept being sent back to retake. Each lifetime or season, you faced it again, wearing different outfits, different roles, different masks. But this time, something was different. You didn't just survive it, you passed it clean. That foggy self-doubt, that lingering voice whispering, "Maybe I'm not enough," was cut off at the very root. It no longer has power to sway your mind or weigh down your spirit. The Most High keeps highlighting this new coherence inside you, your body, your voice, your choices. Every part of you that once felt scattered has locked into alignment. Now they all tell one unified story, a story that says with clarity and certainty, "I know who I am." In the past you often mistook other people's projections for your reality. When they preferred you to shrink, you shrank. When they wanted you to be quiet, you silenced your own truth. When they ignored you, you thought maybe invisibility was your place. But that season is done. You've moved beyond their shadows and the corridors of self-rejection. You walk through that long hallway of feeling frumpy, unworthy, overlooked, and out of step with your own rhythm. And when you finally reach the exit, the door slams shut behind you. It's permanent. You can't go back. Even if you tried, now your presence carries an undeniable charge. What radiates from you isn't performance or pretense, it's frequency. You don't have to announce yourself or force attention. Simply by standing in the room, you shift the temperature. The energy bends, people adjust their posture. They feel the truth of your being before they even hear you speak. And it's not because you're trying, it's because you're honest. Honest with yourself, honest with your journey. Honest with the fact that you've earned every inch of this transformation. I keep hearing the phrase, "I look good," but this isn't vanity. Heaven itself is smiling, because this is agreement. You look good because your insides are finally in perfect harmony with your outside life. Your energy isn't fractured anymore. Your soul isn't at war with your reflection. Every part of you has signed the same contract of authenticity. And the result is magnetic. This is why people can't stop staring, not at your clothes, not at your face, but at the aura of agreement that surrounds you. Here's what I'm seeing clearly. You've been doing alchemy in plain sight. You've been taking the raw materials of hardship and transmuting them into gold. The losses that should have crushed you became leverage. The pain that should have broken you became polish. The doubt that used to paralyze you became data you now use for wisdom. Every setback turned into a stepping stone. You've shifted from whispering, "I hope I can," to standing boldly in, "Watch me," and the world is watching. They feel it, they sense it. You're no longer hiding in the background. You're reading as a star on the rise. And here's the thing, you're not rising because the world finally allowed you to. You're rising because you finally accepted that you already were one, and there's more. I see the number 88 illuminating your path. This is divine confirmation, symbolizing abundance, favor, alignment, and doors flinging open. Opportunities you didn't even know how to ask for are now recognizing you. Doors you thought were locked have started swinging wide without you lifting a hand. It's as if heaven itself whispered your name into the locks, and they turned on their own. What once felt like closed gates are now unfolding into pathways. You're not chasing anymore, you're attracting. And let me tell you, this is far more than just a glow-up. This isn't about the surface or cosmetics. This is about the clean heat of divine purpose radiating from your very skin. It's the burn of destiny fulfilled, the glow of authenticity unhidden, the warmth of finally walking in rhythm with your calling. People see it, and they don't even have words for it. Some will call it beauty, some will call it charisma, some will call it mystery. But you'll know the truth. It's alignment. I can even hear that anthem in your spirit now, a rhythm that plays like a soundtrack behind every move you make. Swagger without apology, confidence without arrogance, a declaration that says, "On my life I'm good." And it's not just talk, it's truth. You are good, you are whole, you are radiant, you are undeniable. This new chapter of your life is no accident. It's the result of every choice, every tear, every prayer, every test you endured. You've turned it all into power. And now the world is finally catching up to what heaven has already stamped as true. You are magnetic now. Not because you're striving, not because you're hustling to be noticed, but because you're finally aligned. Alignment has turned your presence into a signal the world cannot ignore. It's not about the surface anymore. It's about the depth of who you are and the resonance of your spirit. You are soft, but not fragile. Your softness is strength, born from the safety you've built within yourself. You've created a sanctuary inside your own heart, a space where you no longer question your worth, where you no longer betray yourself to win temporary approval. That kind of safety shines outward, and others sense it instantly. They feel it in the way you move, in the calmness of your voice, in the steadiness of your eyes. You're drawing to yourself everything you desire, not as bait, not as a performance, not as a mask, but as truth. You don't have to pretend anymore. What you embody naturally is what others have been chasing. That's why doors open now without knocking. That's why opportunities are finding you without force. Because when you become truth, truth magnetizes truth. God is also showing me the vision of those snakes you once dined with, the subtle saboteurs, the ones who spoke honey but carried venom, the charming detractors who mask their envy with compliments, the people who smiled across the table, yet secretly sharpened their knives beneath it. For a long time you endured their company. You thought endurance was noble, that patience was the price of peace. But your soul grew wise. Your intuition grew sharp, and when the moment came, you didn't flip the table or create a scene. You simply slipped out quietly, gracefully, without drama. You left their circle, and they only realized you were gone when the atmosphere shifted, the light dimmed. The flavor left the feast. Without you, their table lost its meaning. That's why your flame is steady now. You've learned how to burn without burning out. Flame steady means mind steady, and a steady mind creates unstoppable momentum. You don't flinch the way you used to. You don't second guess. You don't live on edge. You move with purpose, not panic. And here's the truth. You don't have to micromanage anymore. You don't have to chase or control. You don't have to stage manage the outcomes. Authenticity has its own gravitational pull, and that's why people are impressed. That's why some are nervous. That's why others are whispering your name in rooms you haven't stepped into. You've tapped into a rhythm that can't be faked, and that rhythm is freedom. Integrity has become your new dress code. Once upon a time, you would shrink your vision down to crumbs just to make it digestible for those around you. You would water down your brilliance so others wouldn't feel small. You negotiated yourself into fragments so that insecure hearts could clap without trembling. But God says those days are finished. No more compromises with shadows. No more contracts signed with fear. No more alliances with illusions. You're walking with clean edges now. Your no is holy. Your yes is sacred. Your steps are unapologetic. And the landscape of your life is reshaping around that truth. Heaven is calling you Queen of the Light because you've chosen illumination over optics. You've chosen authenticity over applause. You've chosen real breakthroughs over staged images. The old you would downplay your miracles, minimize your blessings, and silence your victories so no one would feel left behind. But the new you celebrate them boldly, and that celebration is rewriting the story you tell yourself. Every acknowledgement of your progress is healing the chapters where you once doubted your worth. Every testimony is a sword cutting through the lies of your past. And now comes the part they didn't expect. Compensation is on the table. I keep hearing the phrase, paid in full, paid not just in coins and contracts, but in peace, paid in recognition, in opportunities, in doors opening that used to stay locked, paid in rooms where you don't have to beg for a seat because the table was set with your name already engraved, paid in belonging and wholeness, in the restoration of everything you thought was lost, paid in ways that money could never measure. Your confidence radiates differently now. It doesn't scream, it doesn't grasp, it doesn't beg, it rests. And that resting power is magnetic. It reads attractive, even irresistible, but not in a shallow sense. It's sexy because it's rooted. It's desirable because it's matured. People can feel it when they're near you. They sense the way you remain kind without being naive, the way you give without emptying yourself, the way you shine without demanding validation. You put it down like a weight and chose life instead. You closed the loop and opened a new path. That choice echoes beyond you. It frees not just your present, but your future. It clears the inheritance for those who will walk after you. You've shifted history simply by refusing to repeat what no longer served you. And now here you stand, aligned, magnetic, radiant, and free. You've moved from dining with snakes to feasting on destiny, from begging for crumbs to owning the table, from negotiating your worth to declaring it. You don't just glow anymore, you blaze, and the world can feel it. The Most High is nodding at your independence. Heaven has taken notice of how far you've come, of how you've learned to stop waiting for rescue and instead become your own firekeeper. You no longer stand in the cold, hands stretched out, begging for warmth from those who never intended to share their flame. You built your own hearth inside your soul. You learned how to strike sparks from the stones of your struggles, how to kindle embers out of ashes, and how to keep your flame alive through storms that would have snuffed out a weaker light. That is why your spark doesn't flicker with insecurity anymore. It doesn't need constant proof, validation, or performance. You've become a continuum flame, a fire that sustains itself because it is rooted in something eternal. There is heroism in this, but not the kind that the world puts on a stage. This is not about headlines or applause. This is quiet heroism, daily courage, the kind that doesn't need witnesses to be real. Every morning you choose yourself. Every evening you honor your journey. That persistence is the very definition of bravery. God is saying, fear nothing, embrace destiny. For destiny is no longer a distant dream. It is a present reality wrapping itself around you like a mantle. On the astrological side, I see God underlining your Scorpio and Libra medicine. Scorpio, the keeper of the underworld, the transformer, the sign of death and rebirth. It teaches you that endings are never final, they are doorways. And Libra, the balancer, the harmonizer, the keeper of justice and beauty, together they teach you the dual dance. How to burn away what is false while still holding grace. How to transform without losing harmony. How to rise without leaving love behind. Your second house is stirring, awakening the realms of money, assets, and tangible value. But you are treating resources differently now, no longer as trophies or scoreboards, no longer as proof of worthiness, but as sacred assignments. Every resource is a trust, a responsibility, a divine deposit. You're shifting from ownership to stewardship, from chasing to attracting, from spending to investing in alignment. Your 11th house, community, and networks, is being refined. Loyalty is rising like cream. while performative energy is dissolving like mist. The shallow bonds are falling away. The false cheerleaders are revealing their silence. What remains is authenticity. God is sculpting a circle for you that is less about numbers and more about resonance. Fewer hands perhaps, but stronger ones, not just connections but covenants. Your 10th house, your reputation, is healing because you healed the way you speak to yourself. The whispers in your mind used to doubt, belittle, and undermine you. Now they affirm, encourage, and strengthen you. That shift in self-talk has rewritten your aura. People may not know why, but they can feel it. They sense the authority, the confidence, the peace. You walk now like someone who knows their name, their inheritance, and their assignment. And then there's the Aquarius wind in your stride, the holy alien energy, the cosmic outsider quality that makes you unforgettable. All your life, you've carried the mark of difference. You've been the one who didn't fit neatly into boxes, who didn't echo the scripts handed down. For years you wondered if your weird was a defect, but now it reads as design. Your uniqueness has been reframed as magic. You've reconciled with it, you've embraced it, and more than that, you've invited God to breathe on it, to turn what was once your burden into your banner. That kind of confidence leaves a trail. It lingers in the air after you leave a room. It's not just beauty, it's presence. The kind of presence that makes people whisper to each other, "I can't stop thinking about them." The kind of presence that makes critics soften into admirers. God is showing me a chorus of opinions rising around your new reputation. Some voices are soft, spoken with admiration. Some are loud, tinged with envy. Some are secret, tucked into whispers and glances. You've got watchers and wishers, admirers and imitators. Some look up to you, others look at you sideways, trying to figure out how you became who you are. But here is the truth, you do not owe any of them a backstage pass. I see the word stalker flashing in neon. There are those who once dismissed you, who once acted like they were indifferent, now watching every move you make. Some refresh your page daily, some scroll your pictures in the dark. Some try to mimic your rhythm without ever enduring your process. They thought your light was temporary. They didn't know your light was eternal. They thought your rise was luck. They didn't realize it was destiny. And still you remain unbothered. You do not shrink under their gaze. You do not dim because of their envy. You stand taller. You shine brighter. You rest deeper because the nod of the Most High outweighs the opinions of the crowd. Heaven's affirmation is the only validation you need. You are no longer the one asking for a place. You are the place. You are no longer the one hoping for acceptance. You are the standard. You are no longer the one questioning your difference. You are the design. The Most High is nodding at your independence, smiling at your courage, and breathing fresh wind into your flame. And what you have become cannot be stopped. Let them talk. Let them circle your name in their conversations. Let them invent stories, whisper rumors, and throw shade. Because you're not in hiding anymore. You don't shrink when they speak. You don't fold when they accuse. And you don't flinch when they project. You've stepped out into the open, and the truth about you speaks louder than any of their noise. What I'm hearing in the spirit is ego, but not your ego, theirs. There are a few who quietly mourn the older version of you, the one who didn't know their own power, the one who questioned every move, the one who bent too easily to please others. That version of you made them feel taller. It let them play savior. It allowed them to feel significant. But that chapter is closed, and they can't handle it. They see you standing in your authority now, and it exposes their own stagnation. They're not mad at you, they're mad at their reflection, so they soothe themselves by calling your confidence fake flex. They label your strength arrogance, because it helps dull the sting of their own lack of growth. Meanwhile, you're not flexing at all, you're focused. You've traded performance for purpose. You've dusted off the ashes of your past, stepped out of cycles that drained you, and set your eyes on what truly matters. And that focus has produced consistency, not the kind of try today, quit tomorrow rhythm most people live by, but a steady commitment that has rewritten your entire being. That consistency shows in your face, in the light in your eyes, in the calm resting on your shoulders. It shows in your body language, in the way you no longer fidget for approval. The ease of your stride, it shows in your outcomes, the doors that keep opening, the blessings that keep multiplying. Still, some people insist on narrating you in past tense. They cling to the old storyline, telling anyone who will listen that you're the same as before. But heaven keeps correcting the tense present, alive, ascending. You are not a memory, you are momentum. You've been revisiting who you used to be, not to slip back, but to close the door gently and finally without leaving your foot in the frame. The past doesn't define you anymore, it instructs you, and you've learned the lesson so well that the door is sealed. For some, your transformation is haunting. They're stuck on flashbacks of the old you, running reruns of a show that no longer exists. They're caught in rumors that don't land anymore, and bad takes that collapse under the weight of your reality. But you don't waste energy correcting them. You've reclaimed your reputation, not by arguing but by living. That's what mature confidence does. It no longer debates, it demonstrates. And demonstration silences accusation. Evidence is the loudest voice in the room, and your life is dripping with it. Entitlement cannot survive in front of that kind of evidence. The ones who thought you'd always stay small are choking on the size of your growth. The ones who tried to bury your name are now forced to say it out loud in new rooms. And while they wrestle with their feelings, God is whispering a word for you: jackpot. For someone, I'm seeing sudden provision, a breakthrough moment that feels like confirmation you've stepped into a new dimension. You'll know it when it comes. It might look like a door that swings open without you ever touching the handle. It might be an invoice that gets paid faster than you imagined. It might be an invoice that gets paid faster than you imagined. It might be a chair pulled out for you at a table where you once thought you didn't belong. These will be markers of a ceiling shattered, signs that you're not living under the same limits anymore. And as for the forces, the ones who worked overtime to script your story, who tried to control your time, your tone, your trajectory, you've disarmed them. How? Not with argument, not with retaliation, but with refusal. You shut down their ops simply by not participating. You walked off their stage, and without you, their play collapsed. They still creep. They still cry, they still try to pull strings, but you are no longer a puppet. You are no longer an actor in their production. Their storyline ends where your refusal began. Your assignment is not to chase every critic. Your assignment is not to chase every critic. Your assignment is stewardship. Stewardship of your gifts, your voice, your peace, your destiny. You walked through warfare that would have sunk a less honest heart. You endured fire that should have consumed you. But look at you now. You don't even smell like smoke. You look unscathed, not because you weren't wounded, but because God Himself dressed your wounds in wisdom. He turned your scars into armor. He turned your trials into strategies. He turned your pain into polish. This season is no ordinary season. It's a milestone, a marker, a place in your story you'll look back on and say, that's when everything shifted. So pause for a moment, look around, acknowledge it. This is the season you stop surviving and start reigning. This is the chapter where you step fully into the authority heaven has been preparing you for all along. You've arrived at a plateau, but this isn't the kind of plateau people complain about. This is a high resting place, a vantage point with a view. From here you can finally pause, breathe, and see the span of your journey stretched out in both directions. Behind you, valleys that once felt endless now look like stepping stones. Wounds that once defined you now glimmer like healed scars, proof of survival and strength. Ahead of you, peaks rise like promises waiting to be climbed. But for now, the plateau itself is holy. It is a moment of stability, of arrival, of recognition that you are no longer who you were, and you will never have to go back. Trust what you built to stand here. This foundation didn't appear overnight. It's made from brick and prayer, from sweat and patience, from tears that watered the soil and faith that refused to die. Every long night, every unanswered question, every battle you thought might break you, it all poured concrete under your feet. That's why your step feels steadier now. That's why your head rests higher. That's why your soul exhales differently. Milk and honey are no longer metaphors reserved for the one day. They are real in your life. They flow in conversations where you once only had silence. They pour into opportunities where you once only met rejection. They manifest in the ordinary moments, in the way peace greets you in the morning, in the way favor follows you into rooms, in the way joy finds you when you're not even looking. You've crossed over into a space where abundance is not theory but reality. About those heavy teachers, the stern discipline of Saturn, the relentless transformation of Pluto, the weight of life's gravity that once pinned you down, every ounce of pressure only made you muscular. The resistance trained you, the weight sculpted you, the heaviness developed a strength that doesn't falter. You walk differently now, not because life got lighter, but because you grew stronger than what tried to hold you down. That's why the ground feels steady under your feet. That's why your glow doesn't flicker with effort, it shines naturally. That's why people tilt their heads when you enter a room and say, something about them is different. Even when they can't name it, they don't need to name it. It's God, it's growth, it's you. But here's the wisdom for this season. As you stabilize in this era, protect the glow by protecting the pace. The light you carry is not fragile, but it is sacred. And sacred things require rhythm. You don't owe the world frantic energy. You don't need to move at the speed of someone else's panic. So here are the rules. Heaven whispers. Drink water before you reply, so your body speaks before your emotions. Pray before you post, so your influence carries peace instead of noise. Breathe before you agree, especially when urgency knocks at your door dressed as opportunity. If a request comes married to panic, it is not a covenant you are meant to sign. Choose rooms where your nervous system relaxes and says, we're safe here, because safety is fertile ground. It's in safe soil that creativity blooms. It's in safe spaces that your humor returns, your timing sharpens, and your talent finally plays freely. The wrong rooms drain you, the right rooms nourish you, the wrong people silence you. The right people amplify you, and you've learned the wisdom of knowing the difference. Don't recycle pain just because it knocks politely and says, I've changed. Not everything from your past deserves re-entry into your present. If a connection cost you your voice last time, it's not a reunion, it's a retest. And here's the truth. You've already passed that exam. You've already earned the A. You don't need to repeat a cycle to prove what you've already mastered. Keep the velvet. Your tenderness is not weakness. It is sacred. It is what makes you magnetic in a hardened world. Your compassion, your softness, your ability to listen and hold space. Those are divine, but also keep the sword. Your boundaries are not cruelty. They are clarity. And understand this. Your boundaries are not prison walls to keep everyone out. They are doors with codes. Doors that only open to those aligned with your peace, your values, your calling. Those who come with authenticity and respect will always find a way in. Those who come with panic, chaos, or hidden agendas will never crack the lock. You're both velvet and sword, soft enough to comfort, sharp enough to protect, tender enough to welcome, wise enough to guard. And that balance, this union of kindness and authority, is why you shine now without effort. Why your very presence feels like both safety and fire. You are the plateau with a view, the flame that cannot be extinguished, the promise fulfilled. This is your new normal. Protect it, cherish it, and never forget you built this with God, with faith, with endurance. If you keep seeing 808 or 88, don't dismiss it as coincidence. Hear it as a wink from heaven, a divine nod, reminding you that the portal is still open. Those numbers are not random. They are signatures of alignment, signals that the unseen world is leaning in to whisper, yes, beloved, you're on the right track. Keep going. And if 1010 keeps finding you on clocks, receipts, screens, receive it as confirmation that order is anchoring itself into your life. What once felt scattered and fragile is now taking shape with structure. The pieces are no longer floating, they're locking into place. The foundation beneath your vision is solid now, steady enough to hold the weight of what's coming. Let the admiration that surrounds you bless you, but don't let it rewrite you. Praise is sweet, but it cannot become your compass. Let the curiosity of others hum in the background, like music, but don't let it pull your hands off the pen while you write your next chapter. Their interest isn't your assignment. Your alignment is be generous with your light, but not reckless with it. You don't have to pour into every vessel that reaches. Some cups are cracked, and no amount of pouring will fill them. Protect your flame even as you shine, and as money and recognition increase. And they will remember that both are tools, not identity. Wealth can amplify you, but it cannot define you. Applause can affirm you, but it cannot sustain you. Your worth was written before you earned $1, before you gained a follower. Your value predates applause and will outlive every algorithm. So keep investing in your craft with the same hunger you once invested in survival. That urgency that used to keep you alive, direct it now toward creation, toward building, toward vision. Keep choosing friends who don't get dizzy around your shine, people who clap for you without needing to dim you, who celebrate your expansion without secretly competing. Keep telling yourself the truth faster than anyone else can, so no rumor, no projection, no criticism has the power to define you before your own honesty does. And when the mirror catches you in good lighting, don't pivot away, don't rush past it, stay. Let your own eyes linger long enough to witness the miracle that you worked with God. See the glow that hardship tried to steal. See the strength that storms tried to bury. See the beauty that came not from ease but from endurance. This is not vanity. This is reverence. It is gratitude and reflection. Here is your closing charge from divine authority. You are not the rumors. You are the results. You are not the anxiety of the room. You are the calibration, the steady frequency that resets the atmosphere. You are not the old storyline. You are the plot twist that no one saw coming. You are proof that grace rewrites endings. So walk the next miles, like the very floor recognizes your gait, because it does. The ground knows you. Creation remembers you. You've been marked by heaven, and the earth has no choice but to make room for you. Answer only the invitations that feel like oxygen, the ones that expand your lungs and free your soul. Decline the ones that demand disguise, the ones that ask you to shrink in order to fit. If someone needs you to be less in order to love you, understand clearly that is not love, that is management. And you were never born to be managed. You were born to be in covenant, not in control, to be celebrated, not tolerated. You deserve connection that multiplies you, not contracts that minimize you. And if your heart whispers in trembling moments, do I really get to have this? Do I really get to keep this? Tell it yes, and mean it. You didn't stumble into this season by accident. You grew into it with discipline, with faith, with tears, with fire. God didn't lift you to tease you. He didn't open doors to later slam them shut. He lifted you to keep you. He established you so that no hand could pluck you out. So live like the blessing didn't miss. Live like your name was engraved on it from the beginning. Live like this season was always part of the plan. Live like a standard, not a secret. You are not an exception. You are the evidence. You are not an imitation. You are the real thing, and the world must adjust, because heaven already has. That's all for today. Prayer, dear Father. I pray for the growth of my faith. Help me trust you even when physical evidence is lacking. Let me believe in your perpetual presence, knowing you will never harm me. I understand that your thoughts for me are thoughts of prosperity and not of harm, to give me a good future. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always listening to my voice. I offer up this prayer to you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provision. I am grateful for your presence in my life and for the abundance you bring. If this message resonated with you, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with those who need to hear this. Leave a comment below about your journey and how you are preparing for your own triumphant return. If you'd like to support our work, please consider contributing through Buy Me a Coffee. This helps us continually improve our content to offer you the very best. The link to Buy Me a Coffee is in the description. No gift is too small, whether it's a penny, a prayer, or a share. Your generosity helps spread God's word and brings hope to others. Don't stop here. Watch our next video for powerful revelations about the signs that reveal you are the chosen one. We've enjoyed walking this spiritual journey with you. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Keep shining brightly and embrace your destiny with courage. See you next time.